What's going on, champs and champions? It's FireMonkey here, and Epic Games is going to be changing the price of V-Bucks, so you will be earning a little bit less with your purchases unless you get bonuses from the Epic Games Store reward system. So if you're a PC player, this actually might be some good news for you, oddly enough. So in today's YouTube video, I'll be recapping everything you need to know about these price changes, and at the very end of the video, talking about Save the World potentially going free to play very soon. This is something that we all have not been really expecting to happen. However, I had like a feeling that, in the future, Save the World might end up actually going free to play still, considering how many different modes they actually end up releasing in the game. We'll talk about that towards the end of the video, so let's start off today's video by talking about the Epic Games price changing across every single game. It has been announced for Fall Guys, it's been announced for Fortnite. The only one it has not been announced for as of yet is Rocket League. So what's going on here? Well, Epic Games officially stated earlier today that apparently the price of running Fortnite and all these other games is increasing. They gotta pay the bills, basically, is like what they literally said in their blog post. So they're going to be giving you a little bit less V-Bucks for your purchases in order to make sure that they can pay their bills and keep the game running. Now, I think it's a little weird to hear a company like Epic Games talk about bills and prices being a little bit too high, but that's just kind of the world we live in. Now, how are these prices changing? Well, I have an official post over here. The bundles are still going to be staying the same price, so it's going to be like an $8.99 pack, you're going to have the $23 pack, you're going to have the $37 pack, and the $90 pack. However, the amount of V-Bucks you're getting in those packs are going to be decreasing. So instead of getting 1,000 V-Bucks from the $8.99 pack, you're only going to be getting 100, actually not 100, you're going to be getting 800 V-Bucks. Now, if you buy on the PC store, you get $1.79 in Epic Rewards points, meaning your next purchase is only going to cost around like $7 instead of $8. For the $23 pack, you're only going to be getting 2,400 V-Bucks instead of 2,800. However, you will be getting $4.59 back through the Epic Rewards system. So, a decent amount of things for PC players, at least. If you're a console player, you don't really get that benefit though. And you get 400 less V-Bucks regardless of where you're actually playing on. So it does kind of suck to see less V-Bucks for your purchase, but PC players at least get a nice little bonus to their Epic Rewards points. For the $37 pack, before you used to get 5,000 V-Bucks, now you'll only get 4,500 V-Bucks. So that is a annoying little thing to see. You're getting 500 V-Bucks less. However, in the Epic Reward points, you'll be able to get $7.39 back. And then if you buy the $90 pack, which originally gave you 13,500 V-Bucks, that is now only going to give you 12,500 V-Bucks for a decrease of 1,000 V-Bucks. However, you do get $17.99 back through the Epic Rewards points. So if you're a PC player and you go ahead and use those reward points in order to basically buy two $8.99 packs, you're technically going to actually end up getting more V-Bucks now. Because not including tax, it would cost $17.98 in order to buy two $8.99 packs, which gives you 800 V-Bucks. So if you buy the $90 pack and you play on PC, or you use a storefront that uses the Epic Games rewards point system, instead of getting 12,500 V-Bucks, that decreased price from 13,500, you would be able to get 14,100 V-Bucks. So PC players get a little bit of an increase, a little buff there. However, if you're a console player, you don't really see that benefit at all, right? So it sucks for console players, but it's a little bit of a good thing if you're someone who only uses Epic Rewards points on the Epic Games Store for V-Bucks. So that is an interesting thing to actually see. Now, on top of that, they're going to be increasing the price of the Fall Guys, cash system or whatever else, and they haven't announced it yet, but I'm pretty sure they're increasing the price of Rocket League credits as well. So a lot of price increases fully across the board. However, it is something that's a little interesting to see. They go on to also mention that they're going to be changing the price of the battle passes. For the normal Battle Royale battle pass, it's going to go to 800 V-Bucks instead of 1,000 V-Bucks. For the OG pass, it will become 800 V-Bucks instead of 1,000 V-Bucks. The music pass becomes 1,200 instead of 1,400. The Lego pass becomes 1,200 instead of 1,400, and then the crew pass is only going to give you 800 V-Bucks per month instead of 1,000 V-Bucks per month. So overall, some of the passes are actually going to cost you less money. However, you are going to be earning less money overall from stuff like the Fortnite crew, and we just gotta hope and pray stuff that we leaked before, like the Fortnite crew price increase, doesn't actually end up happening. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but a while ago I talked about how they might be changing the Fortnite crew to have like a multi-different subscription tier system, where one tier would only give you like the battle pass instead of like the OG pass and the Lego pass and all that other stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see if that change ever does come to the game. Now, they also go on to mention that the battle bundle that gives you a few tiers and levels every single season is going to decrease from 2,800 V-Bucks to 2,600 V-Bucks, so you will be able to still get that 200 V-Buck discount, and it's still going to be a decent value if you're someone who buys tiers at the start of each season, but it is something where across the board, basically, we're going to be seeing price increases. Now, one thing I did wonder about, because I was curious if they were going to actually end up making this a nice benefit for everyone, was the change where they stated that we're going to actually end up getting, you know, or actually it is the exact purchase system. I don't know why I was trying to say it that way, but the exact purchase system, I didn't know if that was going to be changing at all, because, you know, it sounded like a pretty decent deal. You know, technically, if it didn't change, because that is a lot of stuff Epic Games would have to change, then you could save a little bit more money by just going ahead and exact purchasing 900 V-Bucks and then 100 V-Bucks or whatever else, instead of buying just the 800 V-Buck pack. However, they did state that it's going to be around $1 per 50 V-Bucks instead of, you know, around 50 cents per 50 V-Bucks, so that is also going to be seeing a price increase as well. So the exact purchase system will also be getting more expensive, and you can't kind of like cheat the system unless they forget to actually update one of the packs or something. We'll have to see about that as time goes on. But with all of that said, let's go ahead and talk about what's going on with Save the World potentially going free to play in the near future, because that is something that I kind of expected to end up happening, and I will be talking about some misconceptions people are already having regarding it, because I do think some people are over-exaggerating what free to play would actually mean. So firstly, Save the World has been getting a lot of hype from Epic Games out of nowhere. Epic Games started using their OG profile picture from the original Save the World days, you know, the one where it's similar to like if you have the Fortnite banner from signing up to the newsletter back in the day, like what I have, I could probably show it if I left this match, but you know, I kind of want to get to the end here, to be honest. Then it's that exact logo. They've started mentioning the reference of like bacon being in like every lootable thing in Save the World and all that type of stuff, and a lot of Save the World hype out of absolutely nowhere when we've been getting leaks of them kind of reinventing Save the World, having like a new home base system, like a hub or something that people would be able to go to. You know, there's been a lot of leaks regarding it, a lot of things regarding like a Save the World refresh going on behind the scenes, and now we're starting to get Epic Games teasing Save the World out of nowhere, and they officially replied to someone asking about Save the World going free to play with like an eyes emoji. So here's what I think is going to happen. Save the World might go free to play right around the corner, and it's something that they kind of promised they would do for the longest time, and then they said they were going to stay as a premium game mode or whatever else, because of the fact that, you know, there's so many different game modes in the game already, might as well make one of the other game modes free, so that Fortnite is the fully free to play game with no paid experiences whatsoever. Now, that is just something that's kind of like, you know, rumored or whatever else based on how Epic Games has been publicly interacting regarding Save the World right now on social media, so there's a chance that it doesn't go free to play, maybe it's just like a free to play day or something. But when it comes to stuff like the Save the World starter packs, Epic Games doesn't have a new one scheduled right now. When the new season starts on March 19th, there is no free Save the World, or I guess not free, but paid Save the World starter pack planned, and those always come with a bundled in access to Fortnite Save the World. So what they might be doing is changing up those packs to make them a little bit less money, while also stating, hey guys, you know, if you want to go ahead and play Save the World, you can. You don't need to buy access to the mode anymore. You don't need to have the whole entire like crew pass benefit where they gave you access to Save the World if you had it for a certain month or anything. You just kind of get it for being subscribed, or I guess, you know, not even being subscribed, but for just playing Fortnite. That would be a pretty cool benefit. Now, there has been some misconception I've been seeing online, and I want to go ahead and talk about that a little bit. Some people have been talking about the fact that it's like, oh, hey, you know, they might do a system where the founders get upgraded again, and everyone's able to make free V-Bucks from Save the World. I don't think that's happening. Look, I get people want to have free V-Bucks. They want to be able to grind the game in order to go ahead and get all the skins they want in the world without spending any money, but I think that what they're going to do is keep the free V-Bucks for founders of Save the World, but the normal people who just, you know, get the game afterwards are going to be able to get themselves just normal, like, X-Ray Llama tickets and stuff like that, and won't actually get any V-Buck benefits. The reason I say this is because it just kind of makes sense. Epic Games doesn't really like to give out free V-Bucks like that, you know, except for, like, Fortnite China back when they would give you free V-Bucks for basically just, like, logging in or whatever back in the day, but it's something where I don't see them giving that founder founders access to everyone. I've also seen rumors and people trying to say that, oh, you know, maybe they'll upgrade everyone's founder pack again who are founders. I don't believe that will be happening either, and the reason I don't believe that will be happening is because of the fact that when we bought the founders pack back in the day, like I bought Ultimate Founders back in the day, I kind of like begged my grandma for money back then and stuff to buy it, because, you know, I wasn't really doing the content creation stuff back then. When we all bought founders back then, it was with the promise that one day the game was going to go free to play, right? It wasn't with the promise that, oh, one day if the game goes free to play, you'll become an Ultimate Plus Plus founder or something like that. I even remember being upgraded to get like the Mecha Team Leader starter pack or whatever for free because I had Ultimate Founders, and I was like, this doesn't feel like the best upgrade. But I don't think they're going to be upgrading anyone's founders pack. I don't think they're going to be doing anything where free-to-play players be able to get V-Bucks. I genuinely think it's just going to be X-Ray Llama tickets for free-to-play players, and maybe the like modifier missions that sometimes have V-Bucks in them. Maybe that could be a way of getting V-Bucks, but I do think that Save the World is going to go free-to-play, and I hope that that does go well, because a lot of people do want to play Save the World, and I definitely see it as a way for them to actually continue updating the mode, see that there's hype in it, and, you know, giving it more treatment than they do to something like Rocket Racing, which I'm surprised even exists. Like, I think Imposters nowadays would probably have more updates than Rocket Racing, but we will be finding out what's going on with it in the next few days once the new season launches. So I hope you champs and champets are excited to figure out what's going on in the Save the World land and potentially find new people to play Save the World with as it goes free to play. Now, what else could be happening? What is the massive revamp? We don't really know for sure. I do know that apparently it's going to have a revamp to like the collection book, or maybe it's like the weapons that are in the revamp or something like that, but only time will really tell. So until next time, hope you champs and champets enjoyed today's YouTube video. I really want to complete this level just enough that I don't think I'm doing it. Wait, is that the final? No, that's not the end. Okay, dang it. Yeah, I hope you champs and champets enjoyed today's YouTube video. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it. Let me know your comments down below regarding the whole entire price increase. Consider using code FireMonkey in the Fortnite store to support me. #ad, #EpicPartner. And until tomorrow, I'll catch you champs and champets a little bit later with another upload. Peace out.